Hello and welcome to a track guide for Anglesey Circuit in an Ariel Atom 4. So very briefly, this is an Atom 4 with 350 horsepower and AO52 tyres. If you want a bit more on the specifics, please check out the Bedford guide on my channel. That will go into a little bit more detail about the car setup and the car itself. So I'm going to be starting with the International lap, and then I will mention the differences for the Coastal at the end. There's only really one corner different on the Coastal. It's just a shorter version of the International, so if you've got most of the International down, it's pretty straightforward. The lap times for both layouts. Now I'm going to pop these up on the screen. I was using Harry's lap timer for this, so not too bad. It's just a phone GPS, so not as good as any proper bit of kit, but it kind of did the job. The Coastal lap on the left hand side was taken on the first day I was there, so I was still figuring out the track a little bit, but the optimal times for both my laps are pretty respectable, I think. So we've got a 1:11.5 for Coastal and 1:3.16 for International. For me, the International track is much better. There's a bit more room, and it's just a little bit more interesting. I find the Coastals I don't know, I'm not super keen on the final corner, but make your own mind up. Weirdly, on the Coastal lap, it reckons my top speed was 10 miles an hour faster than the International. So I'm not sure if that's some sketchy GPS data, but I did note the car temps were over 100 degrees on the International lap. So maybe that's why it was down on top speed. Both of these laps were taken before Ariel released the fix for the ECU. So there is a little bit of overheating, but unlike Bedford, I'm not sure that the overheating really affects the car as much around somewhere like Anglesey compared to a long track like Bedford. Now with Anglesey, it's a little bit similar to Bedford in that there are some really good marker opportunities for turning points, etc. With Bedford, it was the cones that you were watching out for. Anglesey, they have different posts dotted around the apexes of the corners. So as I go through this track guide, you'll probably note me talking about those posts. Those are really good to aim for, and can really get you lined up and apex in the corners in the right places. Here we go then, a lap of Anglesey International Circuit. So to start the lap, we are in 4th gear and we are heading up. We're going to look for this little cutout here and that marker board on the right. So we're just braking at the end of this cutout. Little dab of brakes, and we are looking for the 3rd post. So balance throttle here, waiting for that 3rd post. As soon as we hit that 3rd post, we're pretty much flat. So we're flat now, using all of the exit. And then as soon as we straighten up here, we're on the brakes down into 3rd, and we're making our way over to the left, ready to get the 3rd post for this right-hander. So another fairly late apex, here we go. Balance throttle and then waiting, and then we're going to use a bit of the runoff. You can probably use a bit more. There we go, up into 4th gear. This is a 4th gear corner. It's a little dab of brakes. It's important to keep it rolling through here. So a little dab here, and we are looking for the 1st post. That's our marker. So we're balanced throttle at the moment. Once we get past this, we are full throttle. We get a little bit of oversteer on the exit. We're using most of the runoff on the left hand side, and we're heading now up into 5th gear, and onwards we're going to be flat into the curb on the right hand side at the start of the hill here. So we will be slowly making our way over to the left, just opening the track up a little bit, ready for the heavy braking zone coming up now. Heavy on the brakes at this rumble strip, and we are down 2 gears. We're still heavy on the brakes here. Don't worry about being all the way over to the right. You don't need to do that, and you haven't got enough time to sort of get all the way out there. But you'll watch my right foot. I'm still on the brakes. I'm trail braking all the way to the apex. We're looking for the 2nd post, that post there. There we go, and now I'm off the brakes just at that post. And now we're accelerating, little acceleration here. We're moving sort of middle of the track here, and it's going to be a very slight dab of brakes, or maybe even just a lift. I turn in a little bit too soon here, but really we're looking for a slightly later apex. So maybe that 2nd post, maybe 3rd post actually. Yeah, 3rd post is probably better. And here we go. You can use more of this runoff on the left hand side. Now we're going up into 4th gear. The next 2 corners are in 4th gear. We're braking just about a car length before that rumble on the left, and we're looking for the 3rd post here. A little bit of oversteer on the entry here. It's quite easy to get oversteer on the entry and exit, so just be a bit careful. We're using all of the track, and then as soon as we straighten up over the hill, we're looking for that marker on the right hand side there. We brake just over the hill, and we're staying in 4th gear. We're looking for 3rd post. So very late apex here. Off we go, full throttle. We actually get hooked up on this rumble strip a little bit here, so just be mindful of that one. We're up into 5th gear now, ready for the next corner. We are braking just where this barrier changes from tyres into the steel barrier. We are going from 5th down into 4th, into 3rd, and we're looking for the 3rd post. This is a great opportunity to test your braking because there's loads of runoff on the outside of the corner there. So we hold this a little bit too tight. We should have apexed a little bit later, we could have got on the power a bit earlier. But there we go, 3rd post that was, and then we're using all of the exit, running up into 4th gear, into 5th gear. We are braking just before this building on the left hand side, braking there, we're down into 4th gear, and we are looking for that cutout on the right hand side as our turn in reference. We're turning in just around that sort of area, and we're looking for the 1st post. You might have noticed on that last corner, I tried to shift down into 4th gear twice because I'm an idiot. Using all the runoff on the exit, it's quite a sharp runoff curb, so just be careful of that. And that completes the lap. Moving on to the coastal circuit then. The coastal circuit is exactly the same as the international for most of it, except it doesn't have the back section. There's a corkscrew towards the end of the lap that completes the coastal circuit. We're going to start from this point here. This corner will be taken exactly the same as you do in the international, but the difference here is when we get over this hill, we're going to be braking and going down into 3rd gear instead of holding it in 4th. So just over this crest, down into 3rd, and we're going to look for the 3rd post. So we're rolling it in here, and it's a little bit awkward here, so you could do a little bit more throttle here, and then you're on the brakes again, very light bit of brakes, getting it into this curb. This curb is super jagged, so you don't want to run much of that. Keeping it tight to the right, short shift into 4th, and then we're going to get the 2nd post this time. That's our marker, and then we're out. And that will complete the lap of the coastal. If you've made it this far, congratulations. Hopefully that was useful in at least some aspect. Anglesey is just such a good circuit, especially for the Atom. Really suits it well, and you will be seeing off a lot of very quick cars around there. As always, start slow with these days, work your way up, and you will have a great time. Enjoy!